The Jacksonville police officer who riddled this car with bullets and killed the unarmed driver inside is now fighting for his job. Good evening, everyone. Channel 4 has just upturned the report from an internal affairs investigation into Officer Jeff Edwards. It explains why the sheriff has recommended Edwards be terminated, claiming he broke department guidelines by using deadly force.
But weeks before this investigation, the state attorney's office ruled the shooting was justifiable. It happened back in May of 2012 when Officer Edwards pulled over 35-year-old Davinian Williams for driving erratically. When Williams did not follow commands to show his hands, Edwards fired 6 times. Channel 4's Tarek Miner spoke to the victim's family and the attorney representing the officer, who's now fighting his termination. Tarek joins us in studio. Tarek?
Well, Mary, according to this report, the state attorney's office ruled that the shooting was justifiable because Davinian Williams failed to comply with the officer's orders for 90 seconds and then made a sudden move to reach for something. But according to this report from JSO, Edwards, the officer, could have taken other measures to bring the situation under control.
How could a person get killed and don't have a weapon and never leaves the seat of the car?
Ricky Sumlar says the shooting death of his friend Davinian Williams in this car last year enraged his family because Williams didn't have a gun. JSO officer Jeff Edwards fired 7 rounds, hitting Williams a total of 6 times. And now Sheriff John Rutherford has recommended Edwards be terminated.
For me to hear that the officer was found negligent, it makes me feel like justice really prevailed.
According to an internal affairs report obtained by Channel 4, Edwards ordered Williams to show his hands 9 times over a period of 1 minute and 30 seconds. The report states that Edwards had never experienced anyone continue to evade and ignore him, and his perception was that a gun battle was about to ensue. When Williams made a sudden dipping move to reach for his sock, Edwards opened fire. Police faulted Edwards for not warning Williams he would shoot if he didn't show his hands. Edwards walked closer to the vehicle before firing, and according to the sheriff, this increased his odds of overreacting to any sudden movements and placed him at greater danger where a fatal error was likely.
Police officers are not mind readers. They can only look at a situation, they can evaluate the situation.
Attorney Tad Delagal says Edwards, a former Zone 1 Officer of the Year, shot Williams because he felt the suspect posed a threat to his life. He says the state attorney's office ruling helps his client in this case because the state ruled the shooting was justified because Williams did not comply.
Officer Edwards is not responsible for that death in that he took action that was necessary for him to come home to his home and his family in his best estimation of the circumstances.
So this case is going to be heard by the Civil Service Board. They will ultimately decide if Edwards should lose his job with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Mary?
Tarek, are Davinian Williams' parents still pursuing civil action against the city of Jacksonville?
Well, according to the family attorney, they are still suing the city of Jacksonville about this case. I spoke with their attorney briefly today. He would not go into detail as to what financial settlement that they are seeking.